So it turns out we might need to wait a little longer before the Vancouver Canucks trade Kiefer Sherwood. We have some updates to dive into based off of where it seems like Sherwood is going to go, and the timeline. Woodward Sports Network tweeted this out. The Red Wings are showing interest in Kiefer Sherwood, who is second in the NHL in hits with 202, on top of his 17 goals and 22 points. According to David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period, several teams remain interested in Sherwood, including the Canadiens, the Stars, the Wild, the Bruins, and the Detroit Red Wings. However, when it comes to the actual timeline, we had some extra commentary from Pierre LeBrun that can potentially give us an idea. Take a look at this article posted on DetroitRedWingsInsider.com. This was posted by Julian Trecker earlier in the week. Red Wings linked to Vancouver Canucks top trade candidate. If you scroll down, you will see some comments made by Chris Johnston in regards to Kiefer Sherwood. He said there have been some discussions to that end over the holidays, and there is a big gap between where the team and the player have been. If not, of course, we'll be talking about getting him traded at some point before the trade deadline. Of course, Johnston is referring to Sherwood's contract negotiation. The guy's making $1.5 million a year till the end of this season, and the Canucks reportedly offered him $4 million a year on an extension to which he declined, and to which apparently the two sides are far apart. Going back over to the article here, David Pagnotta has some conversations linking Detroit over to Sherwood, and then you had this. We may not see a new development for a while, as, like the renowned insider Pierre LeBrun revealed, teams are likely to wait until after the Olympics before making trades. What I'm hearing at an increasing rate here is that some contenders are hoping to wait until after the Olympics to make their major move before the trade deadline. And the reason is twofold. One, as they have told me, if they're trading for a player that's playing in the Olympics, they want to make sure he doesn't get hurt there before trading for him. But two, they themselves, most contenders, have players going to Milan. They want to make sure they don't suffer an injury, in which case they would have to maybe pivot and change their trade deadline needs. So, teams are hoping to wait to make their major move. What does this tell you about the current state of Kiefer Sherwood and his trade status? Does that change some of the teams that you think are probably most likely involved in this move? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Where do you think Sherwood will get traded to? Which team do you think could use him the most? And what's the price going to be, both in terms of the trade itself and whatever contract extension he gets? Earlier reports suggested that some of these teams might only be interested in trading for Sherwood if he gets an extension in place, but that was reporting from about a week ago. Things change quickly in the National Hockey League, especially as some of these teams go out there and eventually establish themselves as playoff teams. Teams like the Red Wings and the Canadiens, they're in a playoff spot, but I don't think Red Wings fans are chomping at the bit to immediately say, yeah, it's guaranteed they're in this year. I think there's so much trauma over the past few years of Red Wings hockey that I can understand if Wings fans don't want to declare it until it's officially confirmed. But with this in mind, teams like the Canadiens, the Stars, the Wild, the Bruins, and the Red Wings, they could stand to maybe waiting a little while. If, knock on wood, any of these teams suffer some big injuries to their top players or to any of their regular players at Milan, then it might open the door to an increased need for a Kiefer Sherwood acquisition, if there are some other teams that can both align with this need. If multiple teams start calling Vancouver up and asking for Sherwood, then maybe we do see the Canucks get the first-round pick asking price that they've been tossing out there. Other insiders have already noted it. If the Vancouver Canucks received a first in an offer for Sherwood, the trade would have been done by now. But that hasn't happened yet, so a lot of Canucks fans, myself included, are kind of worried. Are the Vancouver Canucks going to hold on to Sherwood because they're not getting the ask that they want out of this guy in a trade? It would be exactly like what happened with Brock Besser last year. Patrick Allvin going out there in the media saying, oh, if you had known the offers that I was receiving, then I wouldn't be able to show my face. Like, okay, Patrick, thanks. It's almost as if making the trade and declaring yourself in a position where you want to make these kinds of moves is more important to the fan base than actually getting the proper return. I understand that you don't want to get fleeced. You don't want to lose out on guys and have people say that you could have gotten more. But what's the alternative? You go through this entire song and dance in the offseason. You wait until the very last second and then some to re-sign Brock Besser, and you only do that because you ended up leaving Christian Dvorak on the market and he got a big deal from Philadelphia. Vancouver pivoted back to Brock when they realized they couldn't get the center that they wanted, and that's what allowed them to keep him. It's not like, oh, they were planning this the entire time. It's not like, oh, they were seriously sending offers the entire way that were in that range. No, they just kind of acquiesced at the very end. So with Kiefer Sherwood, will there be something similar here? Are the Vancouver Canucks going to drag this out, see if they can absolutely wait until the last second to get the deal that they want? And if they don't get it, then what's the situation there? I would assume Vancouver will get their needs met here. Canadiens, Stars, Wild, Bruins, and Red Wings, that's a long list of teams. And then you also had the New York Rangers tossed out there, according to Vincent Mercogliano on The Athletic. So there are a lot of Vancouver Canucks of the past that Kiefer Sherwood can reunite with, either a JT Miller in New York, a Rick Tocchet in Philadelphia, Quinn Hughes in Minnesota. There are a number of guys from around the NHL that could use Sherwood. Montreal, I've always liked the Habs with the idea of them getting Sherwood. He would play a very nice style in the bottom six, kind of like a Zach Bolduc, Brendan Gallagher mold. Good shot, good aggression, good tenacity. He's got that dog in him. This is the same kind of player profile that I think Rangers and Red Wings fans came to love about a guy like Tyler Mott. But Sherwood is a lot more productive than a Tyler Mott, so there's more pizzazz over there. You then talk about some of these other teams, the Minnesota Wild, the Dallas Stars. These central teams will be so competitive in playoff time, so Sherwood being added to one of those could be a nice little boost. And then I think the idea of Kiefer Sherwood going out there and battling Quinn Hughes in the postseason is an intriguing one as well, considering just how aggressive Sherwood was against Hughes in 2024 when he was a member of the Nashville Predators. Sherwood was a thorn in the Canucks' side in that playoff run, and it's why the Canucks went out there and signed him the year after. But right now, Vancouver's top goal scorer is still on the market, at least at the time of recording this video. We'll see where it is that he gets traded to. The timeline makes it seem like maybe the guy could be traded sometime after the Olympic break, but for now, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where do you think he gets traded to? What is the trade price? Does a team give Patrick Allvin the first-round pick that he wants for Sherwood? Thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.